welcome to week 5 of term 2. I'm talking to you today from the front of Findon Primary with our rectangle beds. You can probably see there's some things missing from our garden beds. Bill and I have been busy removing the old pumpkin vines, and the old zucchini plants, making our garden beds ready for the new crops that we're going to start growing. If you follow me over here, you can see some silver beet seedlings have popped up. Now we haven't planted these seeds. These seeds have come naturally off the old silver beet plant and started growing themselves, which is pretty amazing. Today I'd also like to show you the garden up at the front deck, the pots on the deck at the kitchen, because we haven't seen them for a while. So let's go and have a look at what's growing. Okay, learning team 3, here's our thyme that's growing really nicely. I don't know if you can see here, but these are tiny dill seedlings that have started to sprout. I planted these ones from seeds. We've got lots of basil growing. Our oregano starting to flower, that'll go to seed soon. We've got some baby silver beets popped up in here, which we might transfer to the front garden. And we've got our chives and garlic chives. Now these actually got seeds that are ready to be collected. So we might harvest those soon and get them ready for our seed share program. Okay, learning team 3, I've harvested all our ingredients. I'm going to go and wash these and then I'll talk to you about this week's recipe. Okay, learning team 3, now I've washed all my ingredients and I've washed my hands, so I'm ready to cook. Let's talk about this week's recipe. This week we'll be cooking a vegetable frittata. Now this vegetable frittata is quite similar to the zucchini slice that we made in term 1. It's got vegetables and herbs in it, and then it's got whisked egg and cheese on top, which will set firm in the oven. I wanted to cook this recipe this week because I was inspired by the pumpkins that we harvested down at school. Now I've got pumpkin here. This isn't from school because I wanted to keep those big ones for when we return and do cooking back at school. So I've bought some pumpkin from the shops today. What I have got from school is some rainbow silver beet, kale leaves, chicken eggs, spring onions, parsley, thyme, oregano and basil. We will also have potatoes and cheese in our frittata with salt and pepper, a little bit of cumin and some nutmeg. Now you might see these knobbly vegetables sitting here in front of me. They're not ginger, they look like ginger. These are Jerusalem artichokes. These also have come from the Findon garden, and we'll be using these today in the frittata the same way as we do the potato. Okay, so let's start cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel our potatoes. Now remember, when you've got something round to peel, you hold it in the palm of your hand, and in your preferred peeling hand, you make that backwards L shape with your thumb, like this, and you pull the peeler down towards you and turn. Okay, and you don't peel onto your chopping board, you peel onto the bench top, because that way you won't get any dirt and germs onto your chopping board. I'm going to peel all the potatoes now and the Jerusalem artichokes. Okay, now I'm going to chop my potatoes and artichokes up. I'm going to do the bridge to chop them in half to get a flat surface. Then I'm going to slice them all into about 1/2 centimetre slice. Okay, we're now going to peel the pumpkin. We need to peel this onto the board because we need to use our knife. The way we peel the pumpkin is we start in the middle and we run the knife down away from your body to remove the peel, the skin, and then we're going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I did cut my pumpkin in half to get into the groove, so it's a bit easier. Now we're going to remove the seeds. And we're going to slice this into the same thickness as the potatoes. Now I've got my pumpkin, my potatoes and artichokes on microwave safe plates. I'm going to go microwave each plate separately for about 4 minutes until the vegetables are soft. So while I was microwaving the potato, pumpkin and artichokes, I remembered to preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. The next step for us is to get our silver beet kale, remove the leaves from the stems, roll the leaves up and chop. The next thing we're going to do is slice our spring onions thinly as well. Next, we're going to pick the leaves off our herbs and roughly chop. So the next thing we're going to do is grate our cheese. Remember, thumbs up. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our eggs. And crack them one at a time into a jug and then whisk them all together. To the eggs, we're going to add a pinch of cumin seed, ground up, and nutmeg. We're also going to season with salt and pepper. And give it a mix. Okay, we're ready to assemble our frittata. So to assemble our frittata, I've got a slice pan here that's about 20 centimetres by 30 centimetres long. I've oiled it and lined it with baking paper. You can use a lasagna dish or a square baking dish, doesn't really matter. The first thing we're going to do is put in our leafy greens, which is our kale and silver beet, onto the bottom. We're going to top that with our cooked potato and artichokes. Then we're going to layer our cooked pumpkin over the top. Okay, then we're going to sprinkle over our spring onions. Then the herbs. Handful of cheese. Whisk your eggs again. Gently and evenly pour the egg mixture over. Make sure you push your vegetables down to make sure it's all covered evenly by the egg mix. Top with the rest of the cheese. It's now ready to go into the oven for about 30 minutes until set and slightly golden. There you go, Learning Team 3, vegetable frittata, inspired by Finden's harvest of their pumpkins, made with kale, silver beet, spring onion, chicken eggs, basil, oregano, thyme and parsley, all from the Finden garden. Well, Learning Team 3, that's it for me for week 5. I do hope you've been able to get some cooking done at home, maybe for Mother's Day, you'll be able to cook something yummy for your mum or a special person in your life. I'll be back next week with a new recipe, so until then, bye for now.